Sorry, everybody, for technical difficulties, but welcome back to SENS Talk. It is the first time we have spoken or talked to each other since the beginning of the Stanley Cup Finals. Before we get started, please follow us on Twitter at SensTalk_. I would really much appreciate that. Please check out our website, senstalkcentral.com. And please, of course, check out our website, our Facebook page, SENS Talk, and our Instagram sponsor, sens.central. Thank you all for watching. Now, as you can see in the title, we're going to talk about the Stanley Cup Finals, the Calgary Flames relocation possibility, the expansion draft, and potentially we will talk about free agency. So let's start talking about the Stanley Cup Finals, where it is bazonkers in Nashville. The Nashville crowd is absolutely crazy crowd. Hockey mad city. It's finally getting the attention it deserves. The whole season, they sold out every single game. Truly one of the better fan bases in the NHL, in my opinion. Not because of this Stanley Cup Finals appearance, but if you watch highlights throughout the years, they've been consistently top 10 in the league in attendance, one of the louder buildings in the league, and this is such a passionate fan base, especially for a non-hockey market like Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. It's extraordinary to see. Right now, Pekka Rinne is a brick wall in Nashville, but his 0-5 record in Pittsburgh really catches up to him, and he's brutal in Pittsburgh. He has a 750-something save percentage there. UC Saros has not even better, 800 save percentage. They're just brutal in Pittsburgh, these Stanley Cup Finals. But in Nashville, it's a different story. The first two games, Nashville, in fact, played better in both games. Pekka Rinne lost them the first game. They only had 12 shots. Nashville only allowed 12 shots, and Pekka Rinne allowed 4 goals. And the second game was a barn burner. The third and fourth game, the Predators killed the Pittsburgh Penguins and Matt Murray. There's even speculation, after Rinne had speculation of being pulled out of the net, that Matt Murray would not start game number 5. He did, in fact, start game number 5, and that ended up being a big 6-0 win for the Penguins and a shutout for Matt Murray. If you go back to the Eastern Conference Final Series against the Ottawa Senators, even the Nashville Predators, whenever these Pittsburgh Penguins score a big amount of goals, they, in back-to-back series, they've had a big game number 5. The other team finds a way to come back. It's just been like that the whole playoffs. Anaheim, Edmonton. A couple of years ago with San Jose, I believe. This year, Ottawa in game number 6. I fully expect Pekka Rinne to be a brick wall. I expect the Predators to do great in game number 6. And I'm sure everyone agrees with me. Great. This series will go to game 7. The problem is that the home team has won every game. And the big reason for that is because the Predators, which would be the away team in a game number 7, Pekka Rinne just can't stop a shot in Pittsburgh. I don't know why. He just can't stop anything in Pittsburgh. It's very, very weird. It's very bizarre to me why he can't stop a shot in Pittsburgh. It just doesn't make sense to me, you know? If you think about it, this guy, Pekka Rinne, has been spectacular throughout the playoffs. And for some reason in Nashville, it just stops like that. And in Pittsburgh, he just can't stop a puck for his life, and it's brutal. I really hope the Pittsburgh Penguins will not win the Stanley Cup because they beat my Ottawa Senators. If you couldn't tell, I am a Sens fan. But I really do hope the Predators win. See PK Subban win the Stanley Cup would be hilarious. In fact, I do like him as well, but I didn't like what he did to Stone a couple years ago. But I do like him as a player. His attitude, his excitement is great for the sport. And not only that, it would be funny as hell to see Montreal Canadian fans, their reaction to see PK Subban win a Stanley Cup. Plus, I don't want to see Crosby win a cup. The way Crosby treated Subban the last game, absolutely disgusting. He should have got a suspension potentially. They wouldn't give him a suspension because it's the finals, but definitely a fine or something should have been involved. Punching him in the head on the ice is disgusting behavior, but that's another discussion. So I see this series going to game 7. I predicted Nashville in 6 beginning of this. I did not expect Pekka Rinne to be this brutal and terrible in games in Pittsburgh, but that's the way it's been, and you just got to move on from that. And unfortunately, the only way the Predators can win a cup would be in Game 7 in Pittsburgh, and they have to exercise those demons and defeat the Penguins in the next two. They can't afford to have a bad game now, or else it's over. The season, series, and the whole league season is over. I expect 7 games. I don't know who's going to win the cup. If Pekka Rinne could somehow play spectacular in Pittsburgh, then Nashville will win it. They've been the better team the whole series, in my opinion, except game number 5. But with the way Pekka Rinne plays, and the way Matt Murray really rebounds well, if the Nashville Predators do in fact win game number 6, it's up in the air in my opinion. There's too many questions involved for game number 7. Let's focus on game number 6 and see if the Pittsburgh Penguins can win the Stanley Cup. If not, we will have a pregame live stream, obviously, like usual, for the game number 7. And what else? Just giving an update before we talk about the Calgary Flames. We are going to, after the finals are over, do expansion videos, free agency videos, and NHL award videos, and a season review, and a highlight video with my good buddy Giordano Ladisa will be up before the end of June, so stay tuned for that. But now let's talk about the Calgary Flames relocation rumors. Brian Burke really hit a bombshell. There's been lots of controversy around the Calgary Next project for a new arena in Calgary, because the Calgary Saddledome is very old and outdated. The city needs a new arena, and the big controversy here is the use of tax dollars for a public arena, a private arena. And I'm not going to get into my opinion on that, because that's a political thing and everyone has different opinions. But what I will say is there's two sides to this argument, where one with the Calgary Flames is this is going to create jobs. It's going to help the economy, the local economy, which is fully correct. If you look at any sports team, like let's say Green Bay, what else do they have there? The sports team and their facilities, and that's like the market for it is their economy there. So I see what the Calgary Flames management is saying, but I also see what the taxpayers of Calgary are saying, where like, I would rather my money go to education and health. So I get both sides of the story. Both sides are correct in my opinion. But the problem is here, I think the Calgary Flames organization is not going to relocate for this one reason. Unless the mayor is going to be a jackass, I don't see him letting the Calgary Flames relocate, and he would be the mayor letting that happen. He would never be reelected. And we know how politics work. He's not going to, I don't remember the mayor's name, but if I was the mayor, I would try to get Calgary Flames staying here, because Calgary is going to lose a lot of money without the Calgary Flames, and he would obviously lose his next election as well. So, if I was that mayor, keep Calgary in keep the Flames in Calgary, or else there'll be a big problem in Calgary. And listen, this is not in the next year or two. This is in 2-3 years of potential relocation. But I really hope Calgary stays in Calgary. They're a great fan base, Canadian team, and a up and rising team in my opinion. So let's see if they can stay there. Potential as well. Seattle, the KeyBank Arena in Seattle, which used to host the NBA Seattle Sonics, and they now host the Seattle Thunderbirds of the WHL, the CHL. They have investors, minority owners of the Boston Celtics involved, I believe, to bring back the National Basketball Association, the National Hockey League to Seattle. And that's another expansion probability. The next on the list would be Seattle over Quebec, in my opinion, to even it out. The conference is out. But that's down the road, so we could have another video discussing that. But now let's talk about the expansion draft. And this is big for the Sounders. Some people are saying we're going to lose Zach Smith. Some people are going to say we're going to lose Mark Thought, Frederick Clayson, or Chris Wyman, maybe even Ryan Dzingel. The problem I have with all of this is it really all depends on Dion Phaneuf. If Dion Phaneuf, what's the date today? The Senators have 2 more days to ask Dion Phaneuf to waive his no movement clause that would make him available for the Vegas expansion team to take him, even though they wouldn't with that cap hit of $7+ million, making more than Erik Karlsson, which is absolutely ridiculous. So obviously, I hope that Dion Phaneuf would waive his no-trade clause so we can protect Erik Karlsson, Marc Methot, and Cody Ceci. I know you're saying with Cody Ceci, but hear me out on this. He's still too high. He has too much potential and too much value to give up for nothing. Unlike someone like Claesson, who would be horrible to lose, but I'd rather lose him over Ceci just because the value is there for Ceci for a trade. Hemi Head Fleury is gone. Yeah, Matt Murray's in the net, and that could be the difference maker for the Penguins with the depleted lineup like they have. But let's get back to the expansion for the Ottawa Senators, and Zach Smith is an interesting one. It all depends who's available on the defense, because I really, really fully expect the Vegas Golden Knights to take a look at the defense of your Ottawa Senators. If you look at the defense Senators have would be available, Borietzky, they won't take probably, but Wyman, they scouted all year. Chris Wyman, they credit Claesson, great showcasing in the playoffs, really broke out. Marc Methot, if he's available, those are 4 guys that can really, really change a team. Roman Murphy, I'm doing well. How are you? Triple threat, okay. But it all depends on Dion Phaneuf. If he waives that no movement clause, Methot saved, and potentially Zach Smith or Claesson Wyman get picked. If I had to go with the Vegas Golden Knights, there's so many forwards available in this expansion draft that I don't see them taking Zach Smith. I see them taking either a Claesson or Wyman or Methot if he's available. But let's say Phaneuf waives his no movement clause, and now it's down to Claesson and Wyman. If I was them, I would take Frederick Claesson. He's been the better defenseman. But in my reality, I think they're going to take Chris Wyman. And this is only because Claesson, listen, he had a great year, and I think he's going to do great things, potentially be a top 4 defenseman, especially with Tom Chabot coming in the fold next year. But Chris Wyman actually has proved himself. He's played for USA, AHL Defenseman of the Year award, solid defenseman in the NHL. Chris Wyman solidified himself as an NHL defenseman. And even though Claesson, I think, is not official yet, he hasn't really solidified himself for sure as a Stanley Cup, as a NHL defenseman. And a big problem with Claesson is you don't know if he can repeat what he did this year like next year. He really seemed to work well in the system with Guy Boucher. But how would he do in Vegas? You can see Chris Wyman with the Team USA, and he did great a couple years ago. So, in my opinion, they will take Chris Wyman if Phaneuf waives his no movement clause. If he doesn't, then Methot will be a Vegas Golden Knight. Roman Murphy, I'm a Penguins fan, but good fight in the Eastern Conference Finals. Thank you very much. I'd rather not talk about the Eastern Conference Finals for now until I do my season review. But I'm still heartbroken from that. I haven't recovered. Yesterday, I'm starting to get back to being able to just enjoy the run that we had. And I looked over there is a thing on the Senators website where you can look back at the Senators run with some videos and stuff like that. You should definitely check it out on their website. And there's also SENS25.com, another website they own. They have a cool history going back to 1992. I read that. It was just cool, to take a look at the history of the Ottawa Senators again and just enjoy what a remarkable run the Ottawa Senators had this year. And as I don't know if you can see, let me just move this to see if you can see. As you can see right here, I haven't taken it down. I don't plan on doing it all summer. I expect to keep it up until next season. We were 5 wins away from the Stanley Cup, and it's still heartbreaking. Thank you, Roman Murphy, for subscribing, but still heartbroken from that. Not in a good mood anymore because he said that. Just kidding. But at the end of the day, really, 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 really heartbroken still. But slowly, like the process works, getting used to the idea that the Senators hockey will not return until September-ish. Well, actually late August, I guess, because of the training camp. But that's a quick turnaround. There's only a few months 2.5, 3 months until hockey is back for the Ottawa Senators. And as usual, I will not be doing videos after July 1st for personal reasons. But I will still be active on Twitter once in a while, so you'll see me there. But no, I will still be popping out some videos. Like after this, I will do a live stream before Game 7, if potentially. If there's no Game 7 and the Penguins do in fact win the Cup, Game number 6, I will do a recap of the series, like usual, like I've done every other year. Then I will do, like I said, an expansion draft video, free agency video, season review, highlight video, stuff like that. That will all be coming up. NHL awards. June 21st is when the expansion draft happens, and NHL awards. All this will happen, and you can probably expect between 5 to 10 more videos before after July 1st. So that's a lot of videos. We're still on. The season's still on for us. But, you know, it's still sad the Senators are done, but what are you going to do? That's the way it is. That's the way the hockey works. A great series, great run for the Senators, and hopefully they can continue it next year. But a big reason they need to continue this next year is with the free agency, and they got some notable free agents. They got the longtime Senator Chris Neal, who wants to return. I don't know if he will. They got Chris Kelly, who hopefully will not resign. He's old, and I'd rather replace him with somebody like Colin White. Victor Stahlberg is one of the only guys I want back from the free agency market. I want Victor Stahlberg back. He's a great top 9 forward. He can play on the top 6 need be. He can play on the power play, and he has the speed. He's so fast. You can put him next to Ryan Dzingel. It would look like a speed skating competition. Then you got Tommy Wingels. He could go. He was a good depth piece rental kind of player. Alex Burrows will be back, obviously, but there's a couple notable restricted free agents, which include the Pager, the Chicken Parm, Jean-Gabriel Pajot. He needs to come back. And Ryan Dzingel is also a restricted free agent who will be coming back as well. I expect Ryan Dzingel wanting a one-way contract this season. So those are 2 restricted free agents. Both of them are definitely going to sign with Ottawa. Hoping they sign Victor Stahlberg. Great acquisition. Very, very low price for him. Speaking of low prices, another unrestricted free agent. The goaltender side now, we have Mike Condon, where this one's going to be tough because Roman Murphy, who do you think the Senators will give him the Golden Knights? Well, depends if enough waves. There's no movement clause. If he does, they'll probably take Wyman. If he doesn't, then the thought. Back to what I was saying, though. Mike Condon, if he doesn't re-sign with Ottawa, we have a problem here because who's going to be our backup? Andrew Hammond is not going to be our backup. But I did take a look at the free agency market, and there's an interesting player from the Buffalo Sabres. His name, I'm going to pull up the stats. His name is Anders Nilsson. I'm sure you've heard of him. He played in New York, I believe. He's a Buffalo Sabres backup goalie, and he's not bad at all. He makes just about $1 million. Let's take a look at the stats really quick. So this season, he had 26 games played. He had a 10-10 record. Buffalo Sabres can't believe him. An overtime loss. It had a .923 save percentage at a .267 goals against average and 1 shutout. For a backup goalie, those are impeccable numbers in 26 games played. And if you're gonna be a playoff team, you gotta have a strong backup goalie. You know you have to have a strong backup goalie. And if the Senators can't resign Mike Condon, which the expectations is they can't, Mike Condon and the Senators have mutual interest to stay together, but they're not close to a contract right now. Hopefully they will. But I'd like Anders Nilsson as a backup position. He's a Swede. Maybe our Carlson will like that. But really, this could be a huge signing for the Ottawa Senators, because if you don't have a strong backup, like you saw in Ottawa this year, if Mike Condon didn't save the Senators season, we would not be in the playoffs. Strong backup is what you need. Anders Nilsson is a strong backup. .923 save percentage, 2.67 goals against average in 26 games. Don't look at the records, kind of like Corey Schneider in New Jersey. Those are good numbers. That's a good goalie. And if the Senators can't re-sign Mike Condon, I really, really want them to go after Anders Nilsson. I really like his stats. I really like the way he plays. And hopefully they get that going. But as well, they have the 29th overall pick, because they were in the Eastern Conference Finals this year in the first round this year. And there's some talk that they'll take, what's the name again? Boston College goalie. Yeah. It was Michael DiPietro from the Windsor Spitfires, who was, of course, they just won the Memorial Cup. What was it again? Not Wall. It was, what's his name again? Boston College goalie 2017 draft. I'm just going to look this up. Jake Oettinger was one of them. Him and Oettinger, him and DiPietro, I fully expect be there in the 29th pick. They're probably going to be early second round, maybe late first round picks. If I had to pick between DiPietro and Oettinger, I would pick Oettinger. I'll pull up his stats for you. Let me just look up his stats. Jake Oettinger, he's spectacular. As well, free agent for the Senators, Matt O'Connor, former Boston College goalie, is Boston University goalie as well. But Jake Oettinger is different. His stats are much better than Matt O'Connor. Consistently getting good stats. You look at in 2016-17 NCAA Division I with the Boston University team, hit a .927 save percentage in 35 games played and a .211 goals against average. For college hockey, a goalie having those numbers like an NHL goalie is a good sign. Consistently throughout his career, he's had plus 900 save percentage, and as you know, if you're a rookie goalie, those are good numbers. He is ranked number 20 by hockeyprospect.com, number 26 by Future Considerations, and number 1 by NHL Central Scouting for North American goalies in skating, well, just in scouting in general. He's the number 1 ranked goalie, and the Senators are very weak. I'm just gonna look at Michael DiPietro. The Senators are very weak on the goaltending wise, and I'm just gonna plug in my computer. It's about to die. Sorry. I don't want the stream to stop for some reason. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Sorry about that. But Michael DiPietro, listen, he's had good stats too. In 920 save percentage, 2 goals against average for Team Canada under 18. I get it. It's good stats. I get it. He had a .917 save percentage, 235 goals against average, and 51 games played. I get it as well. The problem I have with Michael DiPietro is his positioning. Unless Pierre Garou, our goaltending coach, can work with him, he seems like he gets lucky at a lot of times, like very lucky, and that's what I'm worried about him. Jake Oettinger looks like he's calm, in position, ready to make the save, no special saves. Kind of reminds me of like a young, not like a Jonathan Quick, but like a young, well-positioned goalie. I don't know, like a Ben Bishop. He's very tall too, Jake Oettinger, 6'4", like a young Ben Bishop. Great positioning, big and tall. It can really stretch out the legs. I really like the way Jake Oettinger plays. He uses his body to his advantage. I really hope the Senators take him in the first round, because besides Marcus Hogberg will be coming to Belleville next year in the AHL, I really, really want them to take Jake Oettinger. That'd be a great pick by the Ottawa Senators, and I really, really hope, there's a lot of speculation they will, and I really hope they do, in fact, take Jake Oettinger. Kegan Fletcher, what will we do with Con if he doesn't resign? Like I just said, Anders Nilsson, hopefully we can resign him. We can sign him on free agency. Roman Murphy, I know you don't watch the Penguins, but do you think we will drop Marc-Andre Fleury? Nah, you won't drop Marc-Andre Fleury. What's going to happen is you're going to trade him. And if for some reason you can't trade him, you have less than a week and a half to trade him. So the most likely scenario is he waives his no movement clause and goes to Vegas. I don't see them wanting to do that, though. I see them wanting to make a trade. And let's see if they can do that. Fleury will not be with the Penguins next year. End of story. End of story. He will not be in Pittsburgh Penguin next year. No doubt about that. But as well, talking about goalies again for the Ottawa Senators, besides Marcus Hogberg, they don't really have any goaltending prospect. Hogberg looks like he has some potential. He played well in Sweden. Let me look up his stats for you guys. Augsburg. Better load. He seems like he's going to be a good prospect, but let's see his stats. He was third round, 78 overall by the Senators in 2013. He's 6'5", big man. Sweden. He had a .932 save percentage, a 189 goals against average in 33 games, and that's beautiful. That's a great season for him, and he's consistently from 2014-15 to 2016-17. He's put up +9. Nothing's been below 910 save percentage, and below higher than a 3 goals against average. That's very good against one of the top leagues in the world. So Marcus Hogberg is seriously a good Senators prospect. But you need more than just one guy, and Jake Oettinger can be that guy. So I would love the Senators take Jake Oettinger, and then you would also have Marcus Hogberg in the picture. Those are 2 good prospects for the Ottawa Senators, and hopefully they will, in fact, let Marcus Hogberg develop in Belleville this year. Draft Oettinger and restock that goaltending position, because they're going to probably sign Anderson to an extension this year. They're already going to protect him in the expansion draft. And really, a big problem with the Senators right now is Anderson's 36 years old, going to be 37 next year. How many more years left does he have? And even though Anders Nilsson could be a good backup if we knew back sign him, he's not a starter. And unless Mike Conn signs with the Senators, which I hope he does, clearly. I want him to sign. He's been a great goalie. I always thought he was a good goalie when he was in Montreal. Unfair chances for him. He could be a starter, Mike Conn, in my opinion. He could be a starter, but you still need a good backup. He can't play 50, 60 games. He can play 30, 40. He can split the season, have 2 decent starting capable goalies who are still that could back up as well. But maybe a little bit of competition there. So that'd be great. But that's the best of both worlds. So we'll have to see what happens. Ryan Murphy, besides goalie, what position do the Senators need? It's a top 6 forward. Elliot Friedman, in fact, brought something up for the Ottawa Senators, which was very interesting. He brought up the fact that Matt Duchene could still potentially come to Ottawa. They were this close to the Stanley Cup Finals, and they just need that final push. They got a couple of players in a couple of years, especially Carlson. Contracts are going to be up. So signing Matt Duchene, or trading for Matt Duchene couldn't even be a big surprise for the Senators. Now, do I think they'll do it? Probably not, but it's definitely in the radar. They sticked around with it the past year and a half, and I don't see why this close to the Stanley Cup Finals they won't pull the trigger and get their team this much closer to a first time in franchise history Stanley Cup championship. So many things with the Senators. We'll talk about that in a separate live stream / video. But I wanted to do a live stream for you guys. I thought you guys and girls deserved it. We haven't spoken in a little while. I'm probably going to end this in a couple of minutes. But the recap of this whole video, finals, hopefully goes to Game 7 so I could do a pregame show. Calgary, definitely not going to move. Expansion, hopefully for enough ways. There's no moving clause. And if Condon doesn't resign, we draft Oettinger and we sign Anders Nilsson. Those are the things the Senators need to get goaltending help right now, because right now they're very thin in the goaltending department. Matt O'Connor, Chris Dradecker, both free agents now. Do I see them resigning them? I see them resigning one of them. Most likely of the other would probably be Matt O'Connor. He's played well in the NHL level before. So we'll see. He started the game before. Chris Dradecker, I don't know. I like Chris Dradecker, but I don't know if they'll resign him. We'll see. One of the two will probably be resigned, but then they'll sign either Condon or Nilsson, hopefully. Nilsson, if Condon does not resign with us. And Jake Oettinger gets drafted. And if not, then Michael DiPietro is also a good pick. But the positioning, I don't like of DiPietro. I don't like his style of play. Makes me too nervous. Jake Oettinger is more calm, big Ben Bishop style goalie, and I'd rather have that. Roman Murphy. Penguins were thinking about Duchene too after Cullen. I don't see how they would get Matt Duchene with that contract salary cap situation. Their salary cap is not the best with Crosby, Malkin, Kessel, Hornqvist, these players, Matt Murray. These players are not going to be cheap. So I don't see them getting Matt Duchene. If anything, I see Canadians potentially getting Matt Duchene, potentially for Alex Galchenyuk, but that's another video. But for now, that's really it. Leave a comment below after this video is uploaded what you think the Senators will do in the goaltending position, because that's an important position, obviously, for the Senators. And let's see if they can sign Condon, and if not, Anders Nilsson, and draft Oettinger. Thank you all for watching. Please follow us on Twitter at @Senstock_ for all actual updates of the games and, of course, breaking news. Please like us on Facebook, Senstock, add us to circles on Google Plus Senstock, and click the big red button down there and subscribe to us. Like the video, share this video wherever you share cool stuff. Thank you all for watching. Please check out our Instagram sponsor, Senstock Central, and our website, senstockcentral.com. Thank you all for watching. Roman Murphy. I will see you in the next stream as well. Thank you all for watching. I will see you soon. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time in Nashville. Will the season end, or will Nashville push it to game number 7? Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all soon. Senators recap of the season will be follow us on Twitter @Senstock_. We'll tweet out updates about our videos. But for now, you'll either see me doing a video Sunday or Monday if the season's over, or a pregame show for game number 7, which I believe would be on Tuesday or Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching, and go Sens go.